Well, hello.
Hey, how long have you been waiting in the lobby?
5 minutes ish. Yeah.
Um, I just you gotta fucking ping me when you get in the lobby.
Okay, fair enough. My bad. Going forward, I definitely will.
No, it's okay. Well, if you were just waiting there and okay. Um, okay. So let me push this. Here, are we recording? Yes, we are. Okay.
Stream the VM.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Let's go to coding bat. Uh and we're gonna do warm up two today.
Warm up two.
Um I would just
Chance.
pick I I would pick the first one. I think that's a good.
Given a string and a non-negative int number, return a larger string that it is n copies of the original string.
So what I got to show you today is iteration. That's what today's topic is. So last time we did branching, which is what it sounds like. There's multiple paths in your code, um, and branching is based on the input data. You pick one of the paths, and today we're doing a little iteration and branching. So almost all iteration involves branching. So actually, what we're going to start with, um, go to the terminal, type cd with no just hit enter. Cd with no arguments always takes you back to your home directory, and then type cd space src/cb. Okay. First of all, do vim warmup1.url. Okay. So the the settings I have do a lot of things. First of all, I changed it. So by default, there's two different. So by default, it uses a tab character, which is to indent. And the Vim settings I gave you make a very clear visual distinction between spaces and tabs. So that's what this is. I just want to show you some of the shortcuts that I have in there. Here, let me find it. So I'm just looking. Okay, type Control T. So that opens a new tab. Hit :Q to close the tab. Oh, actually, no. Control I. That goes to the previous tab. Control O goes to the next tab. Okay, go back to warmup1.url. So hit Control S. So that turns on what I call sniper mode. Now just move around a little bit, like go like inside of a function. You see how it has both the crosshairs, and you can hit Control S again to turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want those. And then if you hit Control X, it turns on the line numbers. It toggles the line numbers. So if you want line numbers, and then notice at the bottom of the screen, I don't know why it's not showing it. That's so bizarre. Probably because of the weird full screen settings or something. But if you made the terminal window a little smaller, you see now it has the name of the file and everything at the bottom, so that you can just visually check immediately what file am I editing. Okay. Um, control maybe Control T, whatever. Um, and we're gonna hit :E. Hmm. :E space. No. Colon E space warmup2.erl. Okay, and the same deal as before, module warmup2 dash module warmup2 period.
Down here or up here?
Or up in Vim. So we're making a new file for warmup2.
Warm up to, what did you say?
So you need to surround that in parentheses, first of all. Close
Dot
paren,
module.
period. Not quite. At the beginning of the line, you need minus module. You're already way better at Vim than you were last time. You were getting really frustrated before. Is there a way maximize shared content? There we are. Okay, and then period. Then next line. Dash compile. Open paren, open square. Export underscore all and comma space. No warn underscore export underscore all.
No warn what?
Underscore
Underscore.
underscore export underscore all. Close square, close paren, period. Okay. So, first thing I want you, so a new line. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to print the numbers 1 through 20, just one line at a time. Okay, that's the first goal. So, and typically in Erlang, you don't have a single function do many different things. You kind of split things up into multiple functions. So, first thing we're going to write is a function called printn. Printn. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Remember, functions start with lowercase. Okay, and then open paren and just of n, doesn't matter. Uppercase n. Variables start with uppercase. Function names start with lowercase. Okay, goes to new line. Okay, notice also that my Vim thing highlights trailing white space, which is considered low class. Okay, and then
No, I
hit
wouldn't want to
tab.
be low class. Tab.
Okay, see now it has 4 spaces instead of a tab character. Tab characters are low class. Okay, and then it's IO colon format. Open paren. Open quote. Tilde p. Either \n or tilde n also works. Close quote, comma. No. So tildes basically say, in the arguments, I am going to put something here and I want you to format it this way. So space, open square, n close square, close square, close paren, period. Okay, next, we're making another function, and we're just going to call it first 20. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, first 20. Okay, and no arguments. No arguments. Just open close paren. Okay, goes to new line. lists colon for each, open paren, fun, F-U-N, space, print n/1. So the same name as the function, print n/1, because that's the arity, comma, space, lists colon seq, from 1 to 20. One comma 20. They're just two arguments to list seek. Close, and then close all the parens and add a period. You're missing a close paren. You didn't close the for each. All right, cool. So exit or save and then open it up in Erlang in the ERL shell.
Save. I know how to
Hit
do this.
first. You deleted your period. I would fix that first.
What's happening?
Hit A,
Oh,
capital A, close paren, period. Okay, escape.
yep.
There we go, back to normal mode. Do you remember how to save the file?
Sure, it's colon S W.
Not W, yeah, for right. Yeah, there we go. This is before low-class verbs like save entered the popular computer lexicon. Okay, so over in the terminal, you're going to need to cd into the directory that we're in, so which is src/cb. Slash.
CD SRC slash CB.
Yes. Okay. And then ERL. There we go. Just hit enter. And then C open paren warm up 2 close paren, period. Okay, then warm up 2 colon first 20 open close paren, period. Okay, cool. Now what I want you to do is your first exercise is you're going to make first 20 the second and print n the second, but this time it's going to be fizzbuzz. So if it's a
No.
multiple, yep,
Print N the second.
print n the second. All right. So I'm going to actually show you a couple different ways to do branching. Um, actually, you just do it. Do it however you want first, and then we can worry about making it nice later. We're kind of limited on time, so however you want to do it.
Okay. I should have reviewed my notes. I know.
You can look at how your stuff from yesterday if you want to reference. That's totally cool.
Don't touch the mouse. Don't touch the mouse. How do I go back to the beginning? Never mind. I'm just gonna do it like a barbarian. Where was fizzbuzz?
It's at the
It
end.
was like the very last thing we did, right?
Yep,
I did it as an if statement.
which is fine for now. But notice this time we're printing the number instead of nothing. The main skill you learn in programming is breaking your problem down into smaller problems, which is why I'm having you write these as multiple functions.
Okay, what's this? What's the P do in this again?
So tilde p, it's a control sequence essentially. So IO format, when the first argument, if it sees tilde p, it says, okay, in that second argument, which is a list of stuff, it basically pretty prints whatever is in there. Tilde P just formats it as a character. So notice that we were doing that. If we go back to warm up 2, that's what we were doing for just pretty printing the number was tilde P and then N.
And you want me to fizzbuzz?
Yeah, make it fizzbuzz. You could even just copy that code, but actually, you know what? Just rewrite it by hand. That's better. Good for.
Ooh. What in the flying fuck? Okay.
There's some people out there who get pedals on their like for their feet, and they
Mm-hmm.
have those pedals mapped to I and A for like insert mode, and then so down pedal hits A, up pedal hits escape. And then they
Hmm.
have a right pedal and a left pedal. There's people who do
That's
that.
uh that's interesting. It's a comma?
I I I I I wouldn't even I would just say don't even do whatever. It doesn't matter a whole lot.
Don't even do
I was gonna say don't even bother printing the number, just print the string fizzbuzz, but I don't want to make it more confusing. Just do what you did last time. Backslash n, not forward slash. You can use tilde n, that also works if you can't remember the slashes. You need a close quote and a comma between those. Open square and close square. You need a semicolon. No. Not an arrow. You need a semicolon. A semicolon basically says end of this branch.
ooh, okay. Hitting all these keys on my keyboard that I never hit.
Yeah.
9. Like that?
You not quite. Okay, you also need a true clause, remember, for because otherwise it'll chimp out whenever you have a one that doesn't match any of the three. Remember when we tried it
Hmm.
with like 7 and it was like no true branch. I'm gonna kill myself. And for true, I would do just print n of n instead of OK.
Somebody's gonna die tonight.
Not no. Just open quote
Oh, is it this and then
tilde
just close quote?
close quote. Yeah, you need a comma between the close quote and the open square. Then close paren, and then you don't need anything before end. End is the end token. Hit escape.
Do I need
And then
a semicolon here?
no, you do not, because end plays the role of the sum. So semicolon says there's another branch, end says there's no more branches. And then period is the end of the function. So hit less than, shift comma comma. There we go. And that does the indentation. And then right. Oh, you're also going to want first 20 the second, which is the same as first 20, but calls print n the second instead of print n. So go up to line 7.
Okay,
Hit line 7. Hit 2YY.
nothing's happening.
Now, or just Shift V. Select both lines. Hit Y. Go to the end of the file. And then hit P. Lowercase p. Okay, and then insert a new line between the two. You hit Control O rather than Shift O. Oops. All right, and then escape and
What in the flying fuck? Okay.
uh, hit the double comma thing to. I do the use less than and greater than all the time for indentation. Okay, and then escape. And you'll want to rename it to first 20 the second. Hey, you got insert and append, right? Okay, escape and write, and then let's go reload it and print it, and then run it.
What did you forget? You forgot your
C
period.
C of warm up 2. It's not C colon warm up 2. C open paren warm up 2 close paren. There we go. First 20 the second with no arguments.
Why is it the second if it's just the same thing?
Well, you need a open and close paren to call the function. And it is the same thing because, okay, so notice it's going lists for each, and for each function, for each item in the list, it's running print n, right? For each
Mm-hmm.
item in that list. So how do you modify this? So instead of print n, it calls print n the second.
Is this like a trick question?
It is not.
You just come in here and append the second.
That's exactly right. Good job.
One, two, three, fizz, four, five. Wait a second.
You forgot a new line somewhere. On line 15, you forgot a new line. I shouldn't have told you that. I
On
should have
line
let you figure it out.
15, I forgot a new line.
So first of all, look at the output and figure out what the problem is. What is it doing that's wrong?
Every time this is printing out a number, it's not making a new line. Yes.
Correct. And so you need to
How do
go
I
in.
make it print out a new line? Do I have to?
No, so inside the quote, inside the string, right
I thought that's
there,
what pretty print did.
pretty print just prints the data. It doesn't put a new line. The \n says new line. That's just a okay. Do me here, right? And then let's make sure it works. Okay, cool. So I wish we had more time. So let's try doing stringTimes, and let's see if you can figure it out.
Give a string a non-negative int n. Return a larger string that has n copies of the original string. Given a string and a non-negative int n. Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
what I would suggest actually, this is when I write functions, this is what I do, is so first of all, start on again on like line 20. So,
Are we trying to
go down
click?
to line line 19.
No, no, no.
Escape, and then lowercase o to make a new line below. There you go. Then just backspace a couple times. Then hit enter a few times.
Okay. String times. So this is going to be string, which I'm not going to name string. I'm going to name words. And then this is going to be n.
That's right. There you go.
Which goes to so I got to declare words as an input. I've done that. Hold on. When have we done this before? Have I had to input a string into?
So maybe actually the first thing that would be helpful, what we're gonna go back to warm up 2. I'm gonna show you, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna push it to the, well, I don't know what the easiest way to do this is. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you a way to do this. So first of all, note the non-negative int. So it can be 0 or higher. So this is where Erlang deviates from, or where not Erlang, but this right here, how you do iteration, is where the first place where functional languages and imperative languages, so languages that are based on writing your program as a function and languages that are writing your program as a sequence of instructions. This is the first place where there is a major deviation between the two. So I'm just going to tell you the answer, and I'm just going to tell you how to do this one, and then we'll do the next one and see if you can do it. So you're now, if we go back to warm up 1, let's find one where I was doing branching in the function heads. Scroll down. Okay, look at line 63. You notice how when I was doing branching, instead of using an if statement, I used the function heads instead, where I matched function heads. This is 95% of branching in Erlang is done this way. Okay. The next way, go back to warm up 2. So I'm going to show you, we're going to do stringTimes. Let's do
a new function.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking quietly to myself about the most efficient way to explain this. The problem is that I want to show you stuff, but actually having you type it in is just going to take forever. So let's for now. So stringTimes words in n. What I'm going to do, first of all, change the n to a 0.
Yep, it's okay. This will only take a moment.
Just highlight, move your cursor over the n and hit S and then 0. Yeah, there we go. Now for that, so if you are 0 times a string, that is what?
0, nothing.
It's the empty string. So just open, close quote, close quote, semicolon. That's going to be the value in this case. No. Not open and close paren, open and close quote. So just 2 quotes next to each other, semicolon. Okay. So if 0 times a word is going to be that. Okay. Now we're going to make a new clause, so unindent it. I don't know why it's string under times of words, comma, space n, close paren, goes to, new line. And it's going to be words, space, plus plus, space, string under times of words, words, well, it takes two arguments, so you can't call it with one argument. And then I want you to think for a second, start with the case n equals 1, and then start with the case n equals 2, and then n equals 3, and think about what the second argument to this should be. So suppose n is 1. What should the argument to string times of words and what should the argument be? Actually, maybe write out the case by hand. So hit escape. So go to oops, hit U. Okay, hit Control R. So what happened is you typed in a number before hitting insert, and then so it did that insertion operation like 50 times. So just go and delete the rest of those cases. Line 25 and so on. Shit, yeah, that works. So what you would want, okay, actually, let's delete line 23 or delete line 24. Sorry. Okay, and go hit escape. Go back up to 21 and hit J, capital J, for joining the two lines. Okay, now replace on line 22, replace n with 1. Okay, and what should it be in this case? So we're repeating words one time. Oops.
It should be words.
Well, that'll return the literal string words. You want to return the variable. There we go. Okay, now semicolon. Now work out what it should be in string times of words in 2.
Words.
Yes, and how do you concatenate strings?
How do you concatenate strings?
It's with plus plus between the two.
Oh, yes, concatenate. That was the new,
Yes.
you're throwing new words at me.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you, okay, now work out what it should be in 3.
Words plus words plus words. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm starting to see the pattern.
Okay. Now, okay, see, given that you've seen the pattern, now go on, make a new line. String times of words in n. goes to
Words
what is
times
the
n.
well, you can't multiply a string by a no. You can that would work in a bullshit language like Python. That's not going to work in Erlang. That's
Okay.
so how
Can-
I actually want you to do it in the 3, 4, and 5 cases, just so that you can see the pattern even more. Like visually. Now, actually, in this case, forget about words plus words plus words plus words. Notice something that if you do words plus words plus words blah blah blah, that is equivalent to string times of words in 4.
Mm-hmm.
So try that. Words plus string times words in 4. Semicolon. I think on line 25 you ended with a colon rather than a semicolon,
I
by the way.
literally noticed that myself. Yeah.
Okay, now with this pattern, do on YY and P. YYP. Okay, now for words in 6, do the same pattern. Now do the same thing for words in 7. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Nope,
now
nope. I
do it
got it.
for
I
words.
get it. No, I
Do
get it.
now.
I get it.
Yeah,
I'm ready
you
to
get it.
solve. I'm ready to solve for the word. Okay. How do I insert a new line? Nope, not like that.
Oh,
Not like
there we go.
that.
Lowercase
What's
o.
the key for the C, right? Nope.
C is for change. O is for if you want just capital A to append. Okay, that works too. There we go.
Okay. String times words n. It's definitely
There you go. That's it. Close paren and period. Period to, because it's the last clause in the function. There we go. Let's make sure it works. You meant warm up 2. You typed in C of warm up 1. That doesn't matter. That's just saying you declared a variable and then didn't use it, which usually means that you made a mistake, but not in this case. Then put in, it doesn't matter, bananas. What you're putting in the atom high. There you go.
High five.
Okay, and do it for a number that's bigger than 7 to make sure that your general case works. There you go. Ta-da!
So I
This
was
is the
just
normal way we do branching.
okay.
What was your question?
I just wasn't sure the -1 notation could just be slapped on there without.
Yeah, no,
No, okay.
that's totally cool. You're learning like 3 things right now. You're learning how to use Vim, which is frustrating. Then you're learning how to program, which is frustrating, and then you're learning the language. So, these are 3 different things. Once you learn how to, well, and you're learning a specific type of programming, which is functional programming. And Erlang's a very weird language. Um, in the future, you're going to tell people, "Oh yeah, my first language was Erlang," and everybody's going to go, "What? I've never used Erlang." Very, very few people learn Erlang, but it's actually a really good programming language for beginners because it's really simple. Okay. Now, what I want you to do right now, or actually, you know what? Just leave it. Do you want to try go to the next exercise, or do you want to try simplifying string times, or do you want to go to the next exercise? I think the next exercise is better.
Whatever you think.
All right, let's do front times. Let's do this one.
Give a string a non-negative int. Let's say the front of the string is the first 3 characters. So it just wants me to get a string and then return the first 3 characters an amount of times. So
Yes,
it's very similar to what we just did. Okay.
it's very similar, but no, I want you to make an observation first, which is that this front times, it contains string times as a subproblem. So the first thing you have to do is get the first 3 characters of the word and then do string times on that.
Okay.
And the trick here is that you have to be able to handle strings that are 3, let's see, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, or 2 characters as well. So you have to get the first 3 characters out of the string. And I can show you how to do that in a second.
It's okay. It's okay. Because my CS50 big brain knowledge, I know that a string is just an array of characters. So I should just be able to pull out the first 3 characters of the string.
Correct.
Okay.
So
But
what
how
I
to
the
do
way
that
that
in Erlang is a question
yes.
that I don't know.
So the way that I would do this is I would do front times of str or words, if you want to call it that.
Big words.
Big words in n goes to new line. Hit tab. There we go. And then I would say call it little words maybe, or words 3, whatever.
I'm kidding. Words
No,
3. Okay.
words
Yeah.
3 is equal to uh for it doesn't matter what you call it, but first 3 chars maybe. Lowercase.
Chars 3. Lowercase.
Chars 3
Chars 3.
of big words. No, not chars. Sorry, chars 3 open paren big words. Sorry. Close paren, comma, new line. And then I would do string times of words 3 and n. Okay, so notice here that we have reduced our problem down to a smaller problem, which is just getting the first three characters. And then given that we have done that, oh, and you need a period to end the function.
Right, but how does chars 3 take the first three? We still need to write that, right?
You have to write chars 3. So new line.
Do I have to
Okay.
write it beforehand, or can I call a function that's declared
You
afterwards?
you can call it if it's declared afterwards. That's fine. Order doesn't matter.
Okay. I know some languages are weird about that.
Some languages are like that. Erlang is not one of them.
Chars 3.
Now, what I would do is use the fact that a string is a list of characters. It's not arrays and lists are different. Arrays have a fixed length. Lists have a variable length. That's the
Okay.
difference. So in Erlang, strings are lists of characters. In most languages, they're arrays. In Erlang, they're lists. And so given that they're lists, I want you to do branching that's in the style of the function head branching that we just did. And do separate cases for empty list, list with one element, list with two elements, and list with three or more elements. And then so it's going to take one argument. Actually, call it just S, and I'm going to show you a different way to do branching. Okay, goes to new line, tab, case S of, case space S of, new line, tab, empty string, or empty list, it doesn't matter. They're the same thing. Goes to what is this going to go to? So the first three characters of the empty string, what is that going to map to? It's not a trick question. Obvious answer.
Okay. Sorry, I brain farted there. Chars 3, first three characters, what's that going to map to? Big words. Or words 3?
Inside of chars 3,
Yes.
we're getting the first three characters of a string with no characters. What should that map to?
Nothing.
Correct. So how do you express empty string? There you go.
Empty string maps to
Semicolon.
empty string. Okay.
Cool. Cool. Now go to match a string with exactly one character, you pretend it's a list with exactly one element. Open square. Then just you can put a letter in there or just underscore. Close square. Goes to.
Oh, okay.
And then in this case, it's just going to go to S because you're just going to get the argument back. No, not the literal string S, the variable S. Semicolon. Okay, now how do I map to two characters? What is this going to go to?
Is it like S1?
No, it's just S. So empty. So first three characters of a string with two characters is going to just give you the characters back. So S.
Right. Okay. And then it's going to be the exact same for 3 as well.
Yes.
Okay, this is where it gets tricky.
So for more than three, and I would do three or more in one clause, but more than three is fine. In this case, what you're going to need to do is give names to all three of those first characters. So instead of underscores, just call them A, B, and C maybe. Space, pipe, space, underscore.
And this underscore is going to account for everything else. Is that what pipe means?
Yes. Yeah, pipe means prepend. Pipe means ABC prepended onto I don't care.
Okay.
Goes to
S.
what's this? Not quite. I mean, okay, first of all, fix your semicolons and then so so yeah, add semicolons to those. And then not you don't want a semicolon there. Hit enter END period. And then double less than to unindent the line. Escape double less than. There we go. And then save and try it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab. So first thing I would do is go to line 21 in your Erlang file. And replace words with an underscore in line 21. And save and recompile. Okay, so what I want you to focus on is look at the warnings that the compiler gave you.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when you have unused variable warnings, what that tells you is that you specifically created this variable with the intent to use it, and then you forgot to use it, which means that you made a logical error. That's what the purpose of that warning is to warn you, hey, you probably made a mistake here because you
Okay.
carved out a value and then didn't use it. And they're all on line 41. Notice that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to line 41 and think, okay, I probably made a mistake here. How do I what mistake did you likely make? That would be correct if A, B, and C were strings, but in this case they're characters, so you want the list containing A, B, C. That was the right idea. You just fucked up types, which is normal. There you go. And that one should work. So recompile and rerun. There you go.
Choo choo. Okay.
Is that making sense?
Words 3 equals chars 3, big words. Chars 3, okay. String times words 3 n. Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Okay. I want to show you first. So normally, instead of if statements, what we do is we do case X of, and then there's two cases, true and false. So instead of if X, then do this, and else do this. Here, let me find an example. Trying to think.
So case is like an if statement for different types of variables.
Correct. Yes. It's a generalized version of an if statement. So instead of testing true or false, it tests arbitrary patterns.
Okay.
Um, um, okay, let me just show you an example. Actually, go to git.qpq.swish /qp. Oh, new tab. Git.qpq.swish Hakuzaro. There we go. Go to src / no, don't click that. Click the directory name. There you go. That'll if you click the message, it'll take you to the history of the file, and go to hz.erl. I might not have the updated version. Go to line 1504, way the fuck down there. Yeah, it's the opaque type function. It's different here. I have an old version. One sec, let me pull. It's 1545 now. Scroll down to 1545. Yeah, so this is a more typical, this is how we typically do if statements. So case something
Case
that
not.
so case ignore everything between case and of. So case something that evaluates to a Boolean of, and then that's going to either be false or true. And then depending on what that is, then we do something. This is the normal way that we would do. Okay, 95% of what you would normally use an if statement for, we do function head branching. And notice even here, he's doing function head branching. So opaque type, params and name bin, and then when is binary of name bin. So when name bin is a binary, then we're going to execute this branch. Otherwise, we'll try the next branch, opaque type of params, and then that is what's called a map, which we'll get to at some point. And then, if that doesn't match, we try line 1551. So 95% of your branching in Erlang is in function heads.
Okay.
4.9% is these case statements, is case blah of true and false, or just if you hit Control F in the Firefox window and just search case, Like this is a lot of our network branching. A lot of branching. Just hit Control G to go to the next one. Yeah, so this is a lot of our branching is case statements. Just keep just searching just so that you get a bunch of examples. So most of our branching is in function heads. The second most common type is case statements, and then if statements are like way at the fucking bottom. We almost never use those.
Okay, got it. And when you say
Okay.
branching, that's just like the multiple different functions here that
Yeah,
have different cases.
yes. So basically there's multiple different things you might want the function to do depending on what the input is. And branching is based on the input, choose which path to go down. That's what branching is.
Okay, so this char3 could have been written through branching then instead of cases.
Yes, but I wanted to show you the case statement.
Okay.
So normally you branch in function heads. It's exactly the same to do it to, take an argument and then branch inside of a case statement, branch on the, so you could have, so for instance, in string times, we could have done string times of words in n and then case n of zero. Here, actually do
Right.
that. Make string times the second
Okay.
and then with a case statement.
No. What key is it to go to the end of a...
Of the file, it's first hit escape and then it's capital G. And then there we go.
string times the second of his name, and then we're going to go words n, which leads to case n of
And you only need two cases here.
yes, so nothing leads
No,
to...
n is an
Oh,
integer, not a string.
okay, case of n is equal to 0 leads to nothing, semicolon. N. So it'll check the first one first, right? So it'll check if n is
Correct.
0, and then if it's not 0, then we can just lead it to... I guess we don't even need to put the n leads to, that's just given.
You can just do an underscore.
What do you mean underscore? Like underscore here?
Yep. For I don't care. So for anything.
Okay. Leads to words plus plus string times the second words n minus 1.
Yeah. So you have a syntax error online. First of all, you need end period. I agree that your syntax would make more sense, but that's just not what Erlang syntax is. And then n equals 0, that's trying to do an assertion. So instead of n equals 0, you just put 0 there. Because you're matching on what n is already. Actually, n equals
Wouldn't
0
you
probably
check?
would.
Wouldn't you check to see if it's 0 like this?
So
Or is that just going to
that
return
would
true or false?
that's just going to return true or false. and n is an integer, so it's never going to be one of true or false. So we're branching on what n is. So n is either 0 or something else. The way that I would write this if I was writing a case statement, actually, so let's just get rid of n entirely. It's just 0.
Oh, right. Like that.
Yes, exactly. And what I would do if I was writing this, so let's make so copy all that and paste again and make string times the third.
Bold of you to assume I remember how to copy lines. Okay, so it's
Shift
P,
V,
right? Shift
no
P.
shift, no. P is for paste. Shift V is to select lines. And then select all of those. Y for yank.
Ooh,
Hit U. All of those as Y for yank.
yank.
And then Shift P to paste. Or up to you. Yep, there we go. And then let's make string times the third.
Append I. Bam. Look at me go.
There we go. And I would do case n bigger than 0 of, n greater than 0 of.
Case N greater than 0 of.
And then I would replace 0 and underscore with true and false. But which one is which? So which one of those maps to true and which one maps to false?
Man, why you gotta hit me with like these complicated, like, how do you solve this? And I have no clue. And then you're like, well, answer this really easy question. Is N greater than 0?
Yeah, so in that case, is n
This is
greater than 0?
false.
Correct. There you go. I should have said true to mean that you're correct. There we go.
True.
And
It's
then the
true that
next,
it's false. Like, yeah, okay.
yes. Well, we
Thank
had
you.
a similar thing with the if statements last time, remember? When you're like, but why does true map to false? That doesn't make any sense. And you got to delete that underscore. There you go. Yeah, this makes sense. And also, very, 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 very important idea in Erlang um, is making sure your function always terminates. So can you think of a case that is not within the scope of let me put it this way. Can you think of a case where string times the second fails to terminate, but string times the third does terminate? So why is string times the third a little bit whiter?
Oh, because this string times the second doesn't account for negatives.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, you know
that
what? I can
would,
I can make this even wider by adding equals to, right?
well,
Or is that not a thing?
that maybe make string times the fourth and make it with a greater than or equal to and see what happens. And see what the difference between the two is.
Okay.
Y and then P. No, you hit U.
Damn you, fucking piece of shit. Nope. No, 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 no.
If you're getting sick of Vim, we can just use gedit instead. That might make things a little easier. Although Vim is a
No.
good investment.
Yes, it's like when I play video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have an
Yeah,
analogy that
learning a
makes me
video
want
game.
to.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
It's a
learning the.
video game. I want to use the key bindings that the pros are using. I don't want to get used to the fucking crutch key bindings.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
So make it the
okay.
fourth first.
Like Star Wars episodes. Okay, so no, I'm doing it in my head in case n less than or equal to 0 isn't going to work because it's going to return true on 0,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't
Yes.
want it to do that.
Yes.
So this is fine.
Yes.
This is perfect. This is white. Okay, we're good.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Um,
Okay, so I copied that for nothing. Okay, I know you're trying to prove it to me, but I worked it out in my head before.
yeah, that's good. That's good. No, 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 that's a sign of progress. Okay, we have probably time for one more and then I gotta go. So go back to coding that and count
Count
XX.
XX. Count the number of XX in a given string. We'll say that the overlapping is allowed, so
Okay, this
XXX
one's too
contains
hard.
two
This one's too hard. Let's go
XX.
to the next one. This one's too
Okay.
hard.
Are you trying to say I'm not, my brain isn't big enough?
No,
Double
I would have
X.
to think about that one.
Given a
Um,
string, return true if the first instance of X in the string is immediately followed by another X. So this is easier
okay,
than
yeah.
the one that came before it.
Yes.
Why would they do that? Bastards. Okay. Double X. I think this is going to be simple. Given a string, immediately followed by another X. Okay. This is not going to be simple. Okay. No, no, no. Shut up. Okay. Double X is obviously going to be
Instead of trying to solve the whole problem, work out the base cases first. So work out what happens if it's an empty string, what happens if it's a string with one character, what happens if it's a string with two characters, and then after you work out a few of the simple cases, remember how I had you do that with the first string times?
uh-huh.
That's in practice how I solve these sorts of problems. Is work out 0, 1, 2. Okay, then the general case usually just presents itself. I
Okay.
gotta go pee. I'll be right back.
Well, I'm going to do case because it works in my brain a little better. String of. Okay. If string is nothing, then return nothing. If this string is one integer. Oh, wait, no. We don't want it to return nothing. We want it to return false. Well, if I type false, will it like return false, or do I have to, is that a thing? Or do I have to type IO print
No, no,
false?
false will work. False
Okay.
will work. So IO format, what that does is it just prints to the terminal. So it's a little confusing because if you're running a normal program, okay,
You'd
what the
want it to
shell
print to
does,
like a window or something, right?
sort of IO format, if you're running a program, so if you're running a program in the shell, it will automatically IO format whatever the return value of what you called is. That's so when you call warm up to frontTimes chocolate 2, it IO formats it as tilde p and then just prints whatever the return value of that is.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, and then to I just want to show you something in the shell so that you can go over to the Erlang shell. You're not going to solve this in 9 minutes, but this can be your homework. Um, open square $x, close square, period, hit enter, and then $x comma $x. Okay, then go in Firefox, open up a new tab. I just want to show you what's going on. Look up ASCII space table. And then go to like the first one. That should probably be fine. Okay, and then scroll it, zoom in a little. Okay, so this is what's going on. So if you type like, just type in, go back to the Erlang shell and type in like $x and period. Okay, 120. Go back to the ASCII table, like, and then look up where the lowercase letter x is. You see how that's 120 in decimal?
Mm-hmm.
So what these are, this is just the numerical values of the sort of standard first 120 characters. And then go go back to the shell. Type $\n period. N period. Enter. And then go look at like 10 in there. Yeah, so 10 is a new line. So \n just means it's just a character. It's just 10. So
Okay.
okay, so for the
How do I reverse that? So how do I do 120 to yield X? Is it just $120?
no, you just type in open square 120 close square. Period.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's what X is. Yep.
Okay, but why didn't I have to do that for words 3? Wait,
For chars 3.
like what? Like why did I just declare the thing to a variable? Why do I have to do
Well, because
ASCII?
so you're going to have to do that in this case because you're having to match on if the string contains the letter X. In chars 3, you didn't care what the actual characters were.
Got it.
Here
Okay.
you do care what the actual characters are. Is that making some sense?
Yes. Yes, it does.
All right.
No. Okay. This is easy. I got it. Um, so what do I just do? Like 120, 120. Like that? Is that going to be X?
Yeah, that'll be XX. That'll be the string XX.
True. And then we go, I do this, whatever comes before. Nonsense. 120, 120.
That's not valid syntax.
Why not? Man. Would it work if it was like reversed, like this? Is this not valid syntax?
That is valid syntax. So you can match on the front of the string, not on the end.
So how do I match on the end?
What would work is if you did underscore pipe open square 120, 120.
Oh, okay.
Close square. Because that's anything prepended onto XX. Now keep in mind, so what you've just written, you've got the correct like line of thought, but you're going to have to handle a lot of cases. For instance, what happens if it's XX followed by a bunch of other shit? What happens if it's a bunch of shit followed by XX followed by a bunch of other shit. So what you've got to do is think through the actual question. Is the first instance of X in the string followed by another X? And then what happens if there's no X's in the string at all? You got to think through all these cases.
Well, isn't that this one? If there's no X's in the string, it's just like if there's whatever. Oh, wait a second. This has got to
But
come
that's only a
afterwards then.
string of that's only, yes, and that's a string containing only a single character. If you want an arbitrary string, remove the square braces.
Hmm. Like that.
Yes, but that will match on literally every possible input, and you will never get to the other cases. So you got so work out the logic first, and then work out like the ordering later. But yeah. And also, I gotta get going, but I will point out that your case on line 68 and your case on line 66, those two, how do I phrase this? The case on 66 is a subcase of the case on 68 because 120, 120 is
Hmm.
just 120, 120 prepended onto the empty list. So that case is also redundant.
So then I would just need one more case then, right?
Uh, you need to structure your code a lot differently. Um, but you've got almost the right idea. What you need to think about is breaking the problem down into smaller problems. The first problem, I'll just tell you this, and then I gotta go. The first problem is you need to scan the string until you hit an X, and then supposing you hit an X, you need to check the character after that,
Okay, so I'm doing
and
this
then
not
yes, so
ideally.
not ideally. And then you also need to scan the string and then handle the case where you either get to the end of the string and haven't hit an X, in which case you'll get to false. You need to scan the uh, the string and handle the case where you get an X, and that's the last character. The first X is the last character in the string. That's going to be a tricky case. And then handle the string where you get to handle the case where you get an X and it's followed by something other than an X,
Do
and
I know,
handle the
have you
case
taught me how to scan strings? Like, is that something I should already know?
almost. What I've taught you how to do is recursion. So what I would do instead of scanning the string is I would case split the string based on if it's the empty string or one character followed by another character. So it's you've got the correct idea, and what you're missing is that you're going to have to call this function recursively. So remember, anytime you have a problem that contains a subcopy of itself. So like imagine, so think about it this way. You get the first character. The first character either is an X or it's not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it this way. There's three cases. You get a string. The string is either empty, in which case the answer is false. So you got that one done. The string is a single character, in which case it's false. So actually that case I would keep in, right? So
Okay.
double X of a string that only has one character. Okay. Next, string has two or more characters. What I would do is I would look at the first character in the string and is it an X or not? If it is the next character an X?
Right. So
And if
you're
it's
talking about a case within a
not,
case?
kind of, you're going to have to structure your logic in a funky way. I'm actually going to have to think about this.
It's okay.
So
If you
what
gotta
I'm
go, you gotta go. But
I
yeah.
gotta go. Do you want me to leave the call open and so it can record you trying to figure this out and flounder for a little while?
No, no, that's fine.
Or you got
Don't
to
worry
get going?
about that because that's going to
All
give you a
right.
long ass thing that I might not. Yeah, don't worry about it.